Writing for these instruments can be extremely hard. If you would interpret the themes in your tradition with your instrument, what would it sound like?
The scope of it is so big, it's like 500 years.
Back then, music could only be experienced in the here and now. We've really put a lot of effort into making sure this translates well to anyone playing the game. I'm Mattias Wendlund. I'm the audio director of Europa Universalis 5. I have been working a lot with the music system of the game and the dynamic arrangements of Håkan's music.
My name is Håkan Glente, and I'm the composer for Europa Universalis 5.
It's a very special thing working with a game series that's been around for as long as this one has. This time around we wanted to see if we could offer players something more.
A lot of music for games is written in loops. In this case, I wrote pieces that had kind of an dramatic arc.
And then depending on what you're doing and how much you're doing, we will bring them in and out of the soundtrack.
Composing or coming up with the first small cells of music, the motifs, I had to try to find some of those that were playable on all kinds of cultural instruments, even if those weren't diatonical, like a piano, for example. So one of those themes is very simple. And a few of those themes are playable on basically everything. I used a symphony orchestra, a choir, and also soloists from early music traditions, and combined them in different ways to be able to build a large cinematic feel or a very tiny, more subtle feel.
Apart from any other art form, back then music could only be experienced in the here and now. And that's the feeling we want the players to have. What would it sound like if you sat in the room with them while they're playing? That's how tangible we want it to be to the players. One of the places we went to was an old church in Sweden called Fresta kyrka, where there is a late 17th century organ. And the reason we do that is that in some cases for these cultural soloists, the actual instruments that were actually played in that era still exists. A brilliant musician called Martin Östergren went there to record authentic pieces from that era on an authentic instrument. So it's as close as we can get it to what music would have sounded like to someone being there. One of the soloists we hired is called Ying Ying. She's a classically trained pipa player in a Chinese tradition, and many of the pieces she's playing is pure oral tradition, so she has been taught by someone who has been taught by someone. One of the pieces she plays is an epic about a battle taking place 200 years BC.
Ambush all sides.
Oh, ambush.
Yes. So even it's described like ancient war, but it still shows, like a 15, 16 countries music.
And she's playing it on an instrument that looks the same and plays the same as it did hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, to me it was interesting to hear Jing Jing, for example, playing one of my themes, this one, and doing her special traditional ornamentation.
Writing for these instruments can be extremely hard. So the approach we chose was to present them with Håkan's themes and ask them to play them as closely as they could, but also improvise around them. Like, if you would interpret the themes from Håkan's linear soundtrack in your tradition with your instrument, what would it sound like? So another musician recording for us was Feras Harestan, who plays the canon, which is a type of hammered zither. So if you choose to play as the Ottomans in the game, this is the cultural soloist music you will hear. He's a real virtuoso, so it was just a joy to hear him play. In the game, when you choose to play as a certain culture, you will get the lower intensity music corresponding to that culture, played by these soloists. So the goal there is for you to feel as closely connected to that time and place, and also for anyone coming from that region or from a similar cultural musical tradition to feel home. The game as a whole really digs deep into even individual people existing in the world.
The scope of it is so big. It's like 500 years. We are also using cultures from all around the globe.
We've really done our best to make sure that old players will feel right at home, but we also want both returning and new players to feel like this is a fresh and engaging experience. We've really put a lot of effort into making sure this translates well to anyone playing the game.